folks, welcome to the video. This is Hardy Gaming, and today we're going to be looking at another Pyromancer build. As you can probably tell, this is my favourite class. This build that I'm going to be showing you today is for solo play, or maybe in teams of 2, perhaps 3. You could still definitely do plenty of damage, but this build is much more focused on your own survivability, which is apparently quite an important thing now since the patch. I've personally not noticed much difference, but then again, I've been running this a variation of this build for a while now, so I've always had quite a lot of survivability. So yeah, another little disclaimer for you is we will be using the Akari 3-piece set here, so that is kind of necessary. In fact, it is absolutely necessary for this build. You need the Akari to offset the survivability so you can still do plenty of damage. So yeah, let's just jump into my gear and have a wee run through what we're doing. So as usual, I am running the Infernal Seed as my primary weapon. I pretty much use this 100% of the time. I pretty much never pull any other weapon out. I don't do the silly weapon swapping thing. This is my main damage dealer for weapon power, but ultimately your main damage should be coming from your skills. No, unless you're running like the rounds builds, like the fire rounds build, it doesn't matter what weapon you really have as a primary, as long as it has something that can help your spells, your skills. So in this case, it's the Fortress mod, which is a really nice mod that you get from the Death Shield shotgun. For those of you that are struggling to get that, I know some of you have been, I would recommend running the Front Lines Excavation. I have managed, out of the 3 Death Shields I've found in this game, 2 of which have been from Moloch when he dies. So I would recommend that for if you're looking for it. Anyway, so that is my primary. My backup is just another assault rifle here that I've put together. It's got weapon leech, close range damage, long range damage. I don't really use this, but if you can't find an Infernal Seed, try and get a gun that's got the Anomaly enhancement, because that knocks your firepower up really high. So you can't see it because of my webcam, but it's 115,000 there. If you could put on different mods to easily get 200,000 with a Pyromancer, and well more, to be honest, than that. So that is the gear, guys. I'm not really going to concern too much about these. I don't use them. So the 3-piece Akari here, I am using the helmet, the chest, and the leg piece. The helmet comes with the Fire Tsunami Tier 3 mod on it. That is just a great quality of life mod. It increases the width of the firewall. Considering we are going to be casting 3 firewalls, you can quite comfortably get entire rooms on fire with this, and that is not only where you're going to be getting lots of your damage, it's also going to be where you're getting most of your heals from. And then I've rolled on to that, the Burnt Out mod. The Burnt Out mod, I would say, is one of the most vital and important mods that Pyromancers can have. Damaged enemies take 25% more damage for 8 seconds. Now that stacks. So if you hit the same enemy multiple times, they're going to take 25, 50, and then 75% extra damage. So yeah, it's a really nice mod, especially considering the fact that this build, I'm just going to say it now, again, does struggle a little bit with dealing with bosses. Moving on to the chest piece, nothing special about this. I have since found another Akari chest piece, and I've dismantled it, and I've got the mod I was looking for, but I'm not using it because I actually quite like to have my Overheat and my Ash Blast at similar cooldowns. Otherwise, it messes my system up. So I've kept on this one here. This has got the Rider Wave and Tidal Wave, so that's 2 extra casts of Heat Wave. So you've got 3 casts in total. The legs, I have changed this slightly, so I've now got Dying Fire Breath on my legs. Now, Dying Fire Breath, right, is actually a really good survival mod, especially with this build, and I will show you why that is. I have shown you guys in previous videos why I like this, but just in case you haven't seen any of my previous videos. And then this has kept the Radiation Wave, which is actually quite nice. It's possibly the only mod I would maybe change in this build, but ultimately, inflicting weakness on enemies, considering how many enemies you're hitting, it's actually really nice. So I might just keep it. You know, if I was ever to find another Akari legs, it comes with the Anomaly Echo mod on it, which is a really nice mod, and what I'd probably do is I'd test. So I'd put on Anomaly Echo and Dying Fire Breath onto the legs and test it, but I haven't found another pair of Akari legs ever. Only ever found one. So that's that, guys. Moving on to the gloves, I've got a normal power, status, and cooldown, and that came with it's pretty much a perfect roll actually. Came with Ash Blast, increases the skill range by 66%, and then when I leveled it up, I got a choice of mods, and I put on Untamed Power, which is a surprisingly good mod. I'm gonna say it's a melee mod. I use it mainly for melee, but using skills deals X amount of damage within a 5 meter radius around you. Now, what makes this so good is it scales with your anomaly power. Considering you're going to be using a carry and you're going to be hitting lots of enemies and buffing up your anomaly power, the maximum I've had with this build I've seen was 620,000 anomaly power, and you're doing 30% of that every time you cast a skill within every enemy within 5 meters of you. Yeah, considering you're going to be doing 3 heat waves, you're going to be doing Ash Blast, you're going to be doing Overheat, and then you can even melee cast as classed as an ability. So just remember that, guys. So my melee attacks, what I've been trying to do the last couple of days is just kill Brood Queens with melee. So I'll get them down to like a little bit of health left, and I'll just keep punching them until they die. Just because I've died so many times to them, it's just a bit of a nicer karma thing. So that's that, and then moving on to the legs, the boots here. I normally cool down the status again. Again, I was quite lucky with this. I got a choice of putting damage absorber on when I leveled them up, and then I rolled on to Master Consumer, which is another vital mod for this build. You need Master Consumer. What it does is the skill consumes either burn or ash. If you consume both, it increases the damage by 150%, and then a damage absorber it definitely still works. When I take it off, I definitely do feel a lot squishier. I die quite a lot more frequently. This essentially doubles your armor and adds a little bit extra resistance, which is very important these days. Resistance seems to be much more important now than it was previously before the patch. It's a little tip, guys. Try and stack resistance. So that is the build, that is the gear, guys. The skills here I have mentioned, but the skills you're going to be using are Heat Wave and Overheat and Ash Blast. As you can see, I've got quite nice cooldowns in all of them. I've tried to keep the cooldowns the same. That way they're always coming back at the same time, and I can just boom boom, and that's that cast. That's kind of hang it, and then I can generally cast about two Overheats. So what I like to do is I like to cast these, and then another load of Heat Wave, and by the time this is starting to come back, I've got this back, and I can cast them again, and then I've got them. So yeah, so really nice. You do get into a routine when you're fighting. So that's that, guys, and then what you've all come here for is the actual build itself. So as you can see, I have gone full middle tree here. I haven't taken the skill leech. You could if you potentially wanted, but I wanted a little more cooldown. So I've gone all the health nodes, obviously. Cooldown here, bit of armor, bit of resistance, bit of life leech. Up to the fuel for the embers. This is the node that works beautifully with dying fire breath. Double skill leech when under 30% of max health. Dying fire breath, you cast burn on every enemy within you when you get to 30% health. So you're going to be getting not just double life leech, you're going to be setting everyone else on fire, and your health just goes straight back up to full. As long as you're not getting multiple boss attacks, you pretty much can't really die. You can, and that's my disclaimer, you can die. I have died, but it's quite rare. You know, when you die, it's like, oh man, rather than not again. You know, it's just a rare thing. And you'll be taking the firestorm right up to the end here to get the activated ignite skills. Increase your armor piercing by 40% and resistance piercing by 45%. Did I say it? 45% for both. With the how much you should be casting Heat Wave, this should be up 100% of the time. And yeah, it's 45% both resistance piercing. It's really effective. Essentially it's like a fake buff to your abilities. A lot of people immediately go down this tree here to get as much anomaly power as possible. It's people want to just see the numbers. Doing this way here, you still get the same numbers. It's just you have more utility. So anyway, I've done that, and I've also taken the distant flame. So you get 2.5% for every unlocked magma golem. The magma golems are these ones here. So 2.5% each. So all of them together. Quick maths. That's what 10. I don't know. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning here, guys. You get some. You get more. You get about 12%. I think, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 12, 13.5%. Oh god, I'm not. I always say the Scottish education system's pretty good. I am not a good example of that. But yeah, you get more anomaly power doing that than you would putting it into like a node down here. I've also taken the wildfire here just to get extra 10% skill, 10% skill cooldowns, which is really handy. And I've put 2 points up to here to get the marble orchard, which reduces immobilized skill cooldowns by 15%. So that affects your ash blast, and that's why my ash blast is a really nice kind of cooldown here. And then what I've also done is I've gone up here and got Incinerate, which is a very understated mod. I've not really seen anyone else use it in build guides that I've seen online. The moment burn ends on an enemy, inflict ash and status. Now, considering, as I said, you will be setting the entire rooms on fire, that's just extra crowd control. And also more chance of making sure that people are affected by both burn and ash when you ultimately use your ash blast. And then lastly, the little trick I've found with this build is I've gone up here and grabbed the hot situation. Now what this does is activating your immobilized skills increases your anomaly power by 45%. This is why, even though I'm running with this entirely tank tree, I can have over 600,000 anomaly power, because this is buffing me by a huge number. And it's activated whenever I cast Ash Blast. And because of the way it's done, you should be casting Ash Blast before your overheat. It means your overheat, the one that's doing all your damage, is now affected by the anomaly power buff. So yeah, it's actually really, really nice for an Ash Blast build to grab that node. So that's it, guys. That is the setup you're going to be looking for here. I have done a little one through there of Boomtown, a really nice time, and I will be putting that at the end of the video, so hang around if you want to watch some gameplay. And I kept audio on for this one. I haven't listened to audio in this game for a while. I generally don't. I generally just put music on in games unless I need audio. So like if I'm playing like a PvP game when you need audio. But as it is, you know, this is a really fun build to use. You don't pretty much ever die, especially if you're solo. Even when you get knocked about by alphas and stuff like that, your dying fire breath will kick off, and suddenly you're back up to full health. All your alphas are on fire, and you can just ash blast them down, and then everything's, your map just all the red dots disappear. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. As I said, I will be putting a little bit of gameplay at the end. Yeah, so hang around. Remember to like and subscribe. If you like the content. I'm not an incredibly regular uploader, unless I'm playing a game that I'm enjoying, and overall I'm enjoying this game. I have definitely had frustrations. Some of you might have seen my Reddit posts. I've definitely had frustrations, but overall I am enjoying it, and I do see a future for it. I know a lot of people always go, oh, the game's dead. It's not. It's just it's struggling right now because the big bugs haven't been fixed yet, but I reckon once they are fixed, you'll see numbers start to creep back up. They'll never get to what they were at launch, but that's normal for games. So hang around, guys. Stick with the game. Anyway, I'm going to stop saying guys. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. And remember to hang around for the gameplay at the end. See ya.